Hi everyone. Today we'll take a look at Team Czech Republic going into the World Junior Championship. The Czechs are seen as everyone as a weaker team than last year. But let's take a look at what they have this year. They definitely have some interesting pieces that could help them to be a surprise. First, let's take a look at their forward score. First off, we have winger Martin Beranec from Motor České Budějovice from the Tipsport Czech Extraliga. As a 19 years old, he currently has 6 points in 17 games with them. Now we have center Michal Teply from HC Baník Sokolov in the second Czech Hockey League. He currently have over a point a game with 11 in 9 games, and last year he played with the Everett Silvertips in the Western Hockey League in Canada. Next, we have right winger Filip Koffer from HC Stadion Lotomerice in the second Czech Republic League. He had 3 points in 10 games, and last year he played for the Prince George Cougars in the WHL and had 24 points. Next up, we have winger Martin Lang playing for HC Plzeň U20 in the Czech U20 League. He also played in the second professional league and third professional league this year in Czech Republic. He played last year in the WHL for Kamloops and Moose Jaw. Now we have right winger Radek Muzik from Luleå HF in the Swedish Hockey League. He had no points in 8 games. Next up, we have forward Jan Mysak from HC Litvinov in the Czech Extraliga. Last year, he got drafted in the second round by the Montreal Canadiens. As a 17 years old, he played last year in the World Junior Championship and recorded 2 points in 5 games. He will probably be one of, or not the best forward on the Czech Republic club, as he have a pretty good skill set and good shot. Next, we have center Adam Nyman from HC Benátky nad Jizerou in the second Czech Professional League. He currently have 5 points in 6 games, but also played in the first professional league in Czech Republic, but had no points in 50 games this year. Next, we have the second drafted NHL player on this roster, Pavel Novak from the Motor České Budějovice in the Czech Extraliga. He was drafted last year in the 5th round by the Minnesota Wild and have 4 points in 9 games so far in the Czech 2 League. He played last year for the Kelowna Rockets in the WHL and had 58 points in 55 games. He will probably be one of Czech Republic best offensive forward. Next, we have center Filip Koffer from HC Plzeň and the Czech Extraliga. He had 5 goals in 6 games thus far for them, and also played in the Czech 2 and Czech 3 League this year, and U20. He played 2 years ago for the St. John Sea Dogs in the QMJHL, and has a pretty good scoring ability. Next, we have Andrei Psenica from the Waterloo Blackhawks in the USHL. He is one of the only players playing in North America right now, and hasn't played thus far any hockey. He added 18 points in 43 games for Waterloo last year. Next, we have center Jaromír Pytlík from HC Stadion Lotomerice in the Czech 2 League. He was drafted last year in the 4th round by the New Jersey Devils. He currently have no points in Czech Republic, but had 50 points in 56 games last year for the Sioux Greyhounds in the OHL, and played last year as a 17 years old for the Czech Republic junior team and added 1 assist. He will probably be one of Czech Republic most important player. Next up, we have forward Adam Raska from the Rimouski Oceanic in the QMJHL. Last year for Rimouski, he had 21 points in 35 games And with that, he was drafted in the 7th round last year by the San Jose Sharks. This year, he's playing for HC Osalik Trinec and had no points in 2 games. And with Radek Muzik, he had 1 assist in 11 games in Czech 2. He has pretty interesting offensive tools and played last year in the World Juniors but had no points. Next, we have left winger Jakub Ryklovski from HC Benátky nad Jizerou in Czech 2. He had 5 assists in 2 games this year and had 1 goal in 9 games in the Premier Czech League. Next, we have big 6'3" winger Michal Teply, who was drafted in the 4th round in 2019 by the Chicago Blackhawks. This year, he's playing for LHK Jestrabi Prohevov in Czech 2, where he have 3 assists in 3 games in the Czech 2 league and 1 game and no points in the Premier Czech League. He played last year in the World Juniors and had 5 assists in 5 games. He will be one of Czech's most important pieces at forward. Next, we have Matej Toman from HC Stadion Lotomirice in Czech 2. He had 4 points in 10 games thus far, and last year he played for 3 different teams in the WHL in Canada and is a good hard-working forward. Now, the last forward, we have a small center David Vituk from HC Sparta Praha in the Czech Extraliga. He had 2 goals in 13 games and also played in Czech 2 where he had 1 goal in 5 games. Now, starting at defense, we have probably one of their best D, Martin Haas from HC Benátky nad Jizerou in Czech 2. He had 1 assist in 4 games thus far and played last year in the OHL where he had 6 points in 21 games, and he also played some Liga and Mestis game last year. He is a very good 2-way defenseman and has a hard shot, and he's pretty big with his 6'4" frame. He played last year in the World Juniors and had 3 points in 5 games. He was drafted in the 5th round back in 2019 by the Washington Capitals. Next, at D, we have 17 years old David Jiricek from HC Psen in the Czech Extraliga. He currently have 3 points in 14 games with Psen, and he's a draft-eligible player for the NHL entry draft in 2022. So he's one of Czech Republic's youngest players. Next, we have Karel Klikorka from BK Mlada Boleslav in the Czech Extraliga. He had 2 assists in 8 games thus far for them and 3 points in Czech 2. He played last year in the World Juniors and had 2 assists in 5 games. Next, we have the second drafted defenseman with Czech Republic, Michal Krutil from HC Stadion Lotomirice in Czech 2. He had 1 goal in 4 games for them. He was drafted back in the 4th round in 2020 by the Chicago Blackhawks. He will be counted heavily on defense by Czech Republic team, as he has a pretty big body with his 6'3" frame. Next, we have Simon Kubicek from the Motor České Budějovice in Czech Extraliga. In Czech 2 this year, he had 4 points in 9 games, and in the WHL last year, he had 27 points in 52 games for the Seattle Thunderbirds. He played last year in the World Juniors and had 3 points in 5 games. Next, we have 6'3" defenseman Radek Kucerik from HC Prerov in Czech 2. He has 2 points in 11 games thus far. Last year, he played for the Saskatoon Blades in the WHL and had 13 points in 49 games, and played in the World Juniors last year but had no points in 5 games. Next, we have the smallest defenseman of the team, Daniel Poisel from HC Stadion Lotomirice in Czech 2. He currently have 2 points in 6 games and played in the Blade Club with HC Sparta Praha but had no points. Next, we have defenseman Jiří Surada from Branislav in the Czech Extraliga. He had 3 assists in 16 games this year. Next, we have 17 years old Stanislav Svozil from HC Kometa Brno in the Czech Extraliga. He already played 10 games but had no points. He is projected to go on the first round this year in the NHL entry draft because playing on a men team as a 17 years old is pretty impressive. Next, starting goal, we have Jan Bednar from HC Energy Karlovy Vary in Czech Extraliga. He was drafted in the 4th round last year by the Detroit Red Wings, but has a pretty difficult season this year with a .867 save percentage in Czech Republic. He is supposed to go play for the Acadie Batters Titan this year when he will be allowed to. If I had to guess, I would say he will probably be the Czech Republic starter in net. Next, we have Nick Malik from the Sioux Greyhounds in the OHL. He is currently in loan in Czech 2 League with HC Frýdek Místek and has a .921 save percentage. He played last year 1 game for Czech Republic and could be a surprise in net for them. Now, last goalie, we have Lukas Parik from HC Benátky nad Jizerou in the Czech 2. He has an .896 save percentage in Czech 2. He played last year 2 games in the World Juniors and also played for the Spokane Chiefs in the WHL and had a good .917 save percentage. And with that, he was drafted in the 3rd round by the LA Kings in 2019. In my opinion, he and Jan Bednar should compete for the starter spot for Czech Republic. So, in conclusion, I would say Czech Republic doesn't really have the firepowers to compete against the top countries, but they do have a lot of interesting players that could lead them to some surprise. They do once and there have an underdog tournament, and this could absolutely be the year when nothing is really expected for them. Their biggest strength, I think, is at goal, with a very good tandem of Bednar and Parik, and even Malik could be a starter. Their defense is strong and big, and their forwards are pretty talented and add some NHL prospects. But they do have enough to compete for a medal. We'll have to wait and see. Next country I will cover is Finland, so stay tuned.